Greeting, welcome back to Transport Fever 2. It's April 2025, April Fools! What is it? Pinch and a punch for the first of the month or something? They do that here because we're a nation of bullies. A pinch and a punch. Anyway, hello, how you doing 2025? My, how time has marched on. A few things have changed, I guess. So let's take a little whiz around the systems and have a little look, shall we? So let's have a look at the towns first, because I haven't done this before. So here we go. Dartmouth, 406 residents, 402 shopping, 403 workplaces, and we've got some positive things happening here with transport connections and vehicles. Our fuel supply, not as high as it could be. Our tool supply has started, but it's still tiny. We'll have a look at that in a minute. The quality of the, I think that's stations, good, but some of the stations are overloaded. I think predominantly the one in the middle there with the person above it is a bit overloaded. Cars is good, but we got a little bit of an issue with emissions, which is fine. Ashby de la is doing okay, but we're not supplying it with anything, so they're not super bothered about anything just yet. Shanklin will probably be much of a muchness of the same, because we're not really supplying it with anything. So it hasn't really grown much, 196 residents. Alchester, doing a little bit better, 234 residents, 230 shopping, 230 workplaces. And we're getting some bonuses from destinations and car travel. We're getting a reasonably good supply bonus from food. Could be better with bricks, but we're going to have a look at that in the same kind of negative impacts. And over here at Keswick, which is the last of the last of the last. Sorry, knocking on somebody's house. 417 residents. Doing okay, but obviously we're not supplying it with fuel. We tried that before, and we could probably do something with planes now, maybe, but who knows? Anyway, let's have a look at the vehicles in the lines, shall we? Let's do this. Let's do it this way. So here we are, vehicles and lines. This is our little aircraft. So our aircraft's doing okay. Made 770,000. It's a small little fella. We'll have a look at it shortly, but it's finally making money. So it's carrying the tools down to Dartmouth, and there's a little truck that poodles the tools into the city, which is what the supply for tools is all about. We got a bunch of buses. These are our intercity buses, which are doing very, very good. Very, very thank you very much. We'll talk about reducing emissions on those at some point. The Ashby Alchester bricks. Now, this guy is over here, and sorry, I feel like I'm getting attacked by the music. So let's turn the music off. Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, so this guy, Alchester bricks, very interesting. I had two trains running. Now this is a more modern train that you can see here. We'll have a look at this train here in the menu. So it's got 100 capacity. This train that's pulling it, the loco that's pulling it, is now not available. But it does 140 kilometers an hour. And we've got 3 big gondola wagons, which take 20 each, I think, for the rocks. And then we've got these modern things here, which take 20 each for the bricks. So that's 60 and then 40 back. And I had 2 of these running, and they couldn't make money. And they couldn't make money because the brick manufacturer is just, frankly, so darn slow. It's a 1-for-1, and that's fine, and the production's okay, and we're transporting 100% of it. It's just too slow for the trains. So 2 trains was no good because 1 train was making this trip, and this is a big trip. 1 train was making this trip. 2 trains were making this trip too quickly, and even when I tried to balance them out and stuff, it still wasn't working. So in the end, I was just like, well, fine, I'm gonna get rid of it. So it's it's a bit of an unbalanced line. I could, in theory, make it work, possibly by trying to get a small single train that's just shuttling back and forward with rocks, or maybe even trucks. And we'll talk about that in a minute too. So that's Alchester Bricks was giving me a headache. Ashby to Keswick wheat, I have balanced those out. They will make money. It's just looking like it's not making money at the minute, but they do actually make me money, and they're balanced out. And this is actually 100%ed. So this is fully working at 100%, and I'm transporting 100%. Look at that, boom, 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 boom. That's what you want. That's the kind of numbers you want. We are chucking it out of here and throwing it up here as much as we can. And in fact, I've set up a little. Remember, I couldn't make this work with trains. I can make it work with trucks for some strange random reason. So anyway, I can actually delete that because I don't need it. And I'll delete the rest of that track as and whenever because I need to because I can. And I think it's Keswick Wheat Short. Keswick Wheat Short. That one. We'll delete that line, and that's gone. So we don't need to worry about that train track and that. We can get rid of that. So these little trucks, these little tipper trucks are picking this stuff up, and they're just picking up the slack, just enough, you know. That's fine. And each one of these trucks is, where is he? Let's pick him up. He's making me 334,000. He's traveling literally just down the road and back again, and his buddy is the same. So he's, come here, pick the truck. He's 110, but he's probably just about to drop off. Let's see, drop off. Oh, I've got it on slow speed. Yeah, there you go, 208,000. So that's fine. This little thing is making me money, so that's all great. I didn't realize I could do that, but I can do that. Everything else is the same as it is, really. I've just been updating some of the vehicles. So, you know, we've got some slightly newer locos and things. We've got some slightly bigger tanks. I've been trying to keep up with maintenance, and I've been trying to keep up with replacing older for newer, because you have to, because you're going to run out eventually. I got rid of the old tram depots. I did do this line. Remember I said I didn't think I could make this turn? Ooh, I can. I did. Just. So I made this turn here, and I ran this line, and this line is straight as a die to the Alchester chemical plant, where I'm thank you, where I'm supplying them with oil, and I think that is indeed this train here, train 5. Yes, so he's empty at the minute, so he's showing as a loss, but he makes me money. Trust me, he does make me money. So I decided that I would run him all the way up to the top. It's a long journey, and he's only carrying oil, and there's nothing for return. And I appreciate that that means he's running empty for an awful, awful long time. Could I bring anything back? Oh, it starts to get into one of those things. The time taken to go, well, what do I need, and where am I going to get it, and how do I get it to where I want to get it? You know, I was thinking, well, maybe I could pick up logs and take the logs to here and then bring these back down again and create kind of a convoluted loop. But it's such a... You then create long trains with extra carriages. He'd have to come off with a different set of carriages, pick up logs, come back, drop off the oil, drop off the logs, pick up the things, come all the way down here, drop this stuff off, then come all the way back over here and pick up the oil and go and do it all over again. And I tried routes like that before, and they end up costing you more money than they're worth, which is why, you know, we talked about the central cargo hub stuff. So that's it. So a few new things and a few whatnots. Oh, steel. I did this steel. So I've connected this guy up to steel. I didn't want him to disappear because he's goods right here. It's going to be an easy win for Shanklin. So I really didn't want this guy to disappear. So I thought, well, you know what? The steel's here. What I'll do is I'll loop a lane, I'll loop a track over, and I'll start supplying him, and he'll stay. And then what I can do is when I get the plastic sorted, which will probably be an airport, I can even just supply this from road freight. I don't even need to put in a train. I'll just put in a couple of trucks, and the trucks will bring the goods in here, and then the train I'll save for further down the line to Ashby de la Zouche. So that's what I'm keeping that going, and I'm a bit worried that this is going to go away because this is, well, it's in an okay position, but I need to get some steel over there. There's a train line. I just need to run a train, but I can't get the supply train that's supplying the steel to sort itself out. Um, and maybe it's not making. I don't know. Anyway, where is he? He's over here somewhere. He's really small. But I can't get him to make me money. I don't know why. I think possibly because there's not enough goods being made here. I have these little trains going, which is fine. I really dearly would love to make them bigger. There's one over there and there's one over there. I would like. This is an older version one. With the older gondolas, but I'd definitely like to make them bigger, but they do cost a lot of money. So, should we go and have a look at what things cost these days? What have we got on the list of things that we can buy, that we can buy, that we can buy? Well, our cheapest electric loco, I think, is this one now, 16 million. So we did have another one which was 12 million. Obviously, this one's at 30 million. It does 200 kilometers an hour. What a boosh! So yeah, yeah. It doesn't have an end date, so it's going to be around forever. This one doesn't have an end date. This one doesn't have an end date. This one doesn't have an end date, and this one doesn't have an end date. So I think this is it. I think these are the locos that we're here with till the end. More new ones might come in. I don't know, but this is an electric loco. 27 million. And then we have. This is also an electric loco, 30 million. And the most expensive diesel, I think, is well, it's one of these two, 7 million. This one, 7 million, 160 kilometers an hour. Yeah, I'd like to stick with electric so that I can keep the emissions down, but we'll see how we go. To be honest, I haven't made the passenger rail services make money. I deleted them. I ended up deleting them. I tried, even with fast locos, people just don't want to. I just couldn't get them to do it. Maybe because my road networks are so successful. I don't know. Maybe if you don't have road network or you don't build road network, you can send more people by rail. Maybe it's just too long. Maybe I need to make shorter commute. Anyway, it's worth fiddling around with, but not until I've got an awful lot of money, because you can't like I said, you need a loco to pull these, and these are the cheapest locos. So if you want a cheap electric loco, it's 16 million. So if you want to mess around, it's like 20 million bucks for a mess around. It's like that's expensive. And then you got these cargoes, and these cargoes are what we have, and it's really probably largely based on speed. If you want to move fast, you get the newer stuff. Really, it has slightly bigger capacity, but it really is about the speed. You have these large electric trains. These again might work ferrying backwards and forwards for smaller commuter systems. They carry 57 people. They're nearly 14 million. So I don't know. If I had the money for a Titu, that would be great, but I don't. And then we have the massive trains, and I've just not seen the need for these things because they're vastly expensive, and I don't have the need for it. I just don't have the need for it. So anyway, so these are all like the trains that we're going to have. So we're probably going to be fiddling around with these kinds of trains for a while. So I'm probably not going to have much more comment on trains from here on in terms of the type of train we have, just probably the routes that we end up using. If we go and have a look at the road depots, there's quite a few things. There's these like double-decker buses, which not double-decker buses, these bendy buses, which, you know, whatever long distance, I don't know, 90 kph. These do 100. This large electric one only does 70, but it is electric, so it reduces emissions. A bit of a toss-up. I had a different kind of bus, but it's gone. It's gone already. This bus has been around for ages, and I think it will be around for a little while. It's your bog standard kind of bus. It would be nice if we could switch to the electric. I wonder how much the top speed may impact it. I don't think so. My road lines have always made money, even when they were even then they were pretty slow. We got these dinky little Isuzus, which is great. They are great for short routes in and around the city. And then we've got the larger trucks. You're talking about the modern version trucks. And we've got the electric truck at the bottom as well. Which, again, if I'm doing anything in and around the city and I think it's going to be sizable, that might be worth bringing on board to bring the emissions down. I notice it has an emissions value of 62, even though it's fully electric. And this one has an emissions value of 72, even though it's fully diesel stink monster. So yeah, anyway, so that's where we're at with the trucks. So again, most of these probably not going to change an awful lot. Trams, not doing anything with. Airplanes. Let's have a look at airplanes. And yes, those of you that did notice, I didn't need to add a hangar when I put the airport. The airport comes with a hangar automatically. We have the Shorts 330 here, but over here on this airport, if we go to the hangar, oh, is it a depot? Did I miss something? I went here earlier, and I could buy much more. I had a whole raft of different kind of planes that I could fly. I don't know. I've got all cargo types. Any cargo passengers? No, it's not. I had a whole load of passenger planes. I didn't know why. So it's very strange. That's very odd. It was there, and now it's gone. I don't know if something has changed or not changed. And it's mostly passenger planes, to be fair. And I'll tell you something. By heck, they were pricey. Really expensive. Really expensive. As you imagine, planes are pretty expensive things. And the other thing is that I don't know if you've noticed, but where it says size down there near the bottom on the right hand side of the description, it says small. So you see, the thing is with small is small works on a small airport, but you may want a bigger airport because this only works for small cargo. This works for large cargo. So you can get large cargo planes like your Hercules and so on and so forth and such like a thing. But you're going to need a bigger airport, and a bigger airport takes up a whack of space and costs a whack of money. So yeah, so that's all fine and that's all well and good. So we're doing okay. We are continually keeping an eye on things, so we're using this to keep an eye on condition. And I'm kind of using it to forewarn myself about what's coming up. So I know for a fact that we can probably just, by the way, change all of these buses over to the electric bus and let that go. There's another one. Let's go and deal with that one. Just the one mediocre? Yeah, just the one mediocre lurking around there. So we'll buy him. So we've reduced our emissions a little bit, and we have to plan ahead for these two trains. So these two trains do make us money, and that's fine. If I were, for example, to have a look at this one, and we were to say, right, this loco, it's 120 kilometers an hour, is pulling 5 large fuel tanks, so we probably don't need that. That's yeah, we kind of want that as 16 million. So if we were to add that in, that means that the replacement cost for replacing that loco is 14.27 million. That's not too bad. Let's see roughly how long it takes. The numbers, they're all over the place. They go up, they go down, they go left, they go right. They depend on so many things, usually dropping off and picking up, dropping off and picking up. You just got to really keep an eye on it, and hopefully when you see the number jump up, you can buy your train. So that's essentially what I've been doing for the last several years is just watching this and tweaking a few things and looking at the routes, and then you upgrade the train capacities, and as a result of upgrading train capacities, you maybe need to readjust the number of trains that are running, and if you need to delete stuff, sell stuff, delete stuff, that's fine. I did promise that I would get to the cargo hub situation and I would look at a cargo hub and so on. I just frankly haven't really felt like I've gotten ahead of the situation enough to be able to do that. And the other thing is, I probably need to just sit. Like, I need to spend 20 or 30 years, there goes the train, just amassing money and maintaining things. Because I can't sit still. I get bored, so I want to build more things. And I'm like, oh, this is going to go away. I better do something because it's going to go away. Um, Stuff like that. So I need to be careful. I need to curb my inner enthusiasm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang around, mooch about, make a bit of money, replace that train, and then have a look at what we can do about sorting some of these. Let's sort out a cargo airport for plastics over here. Get these goods made, get goods to Shanklin, get goods to Ashby de la Zouch, and can't see if we can get enough money to get a steel train at least running down here, and then maybe we can get a cargo situation running from here. They seem to have enough over to this little airport over here as a separate matter, not in relation to loading up this plant, and then we might be able to make tools, and there's like fuel. So let's focus on getting all of the needs sorted, because we gotta get on with this. Let's focus with getting all of the needs sorted for all of the towns, um, and then we can see about what that means in terms of maximizing profits, and then we can look at, once we've got every town supplied with everything that needs to be supplied to it, how we might improve the efficiency of that operation. How long that takes, I don't know. I'm not going to make any promises about time. I'm just going to get on and do it. And when I feel we've reached a milestone, then I'll bring you in and we can have a look at it. So, yeah, could be a while. Be prepared. Be prepared, and I'll see you soon-ish. Right, Hero Team. Welcome back. It's 2050. Oh, blimey. I have been to the future and back, I can tell you. So, what's happening? What's going on before we do a health check? So, I've been doing quite a lot of experimenting over the last, it feels like forever, 20 hours, a lot. There's been a lot of gameplay on this, and there's some things that I just simply don't have the answer to, despite my repeated efforts to try. So I played a whole parallel game from where you last saw me in 2026, all the way out to nearly 2100. Pardon me. And I was trying a variety, I guess, of different things, including cargo hub. And I built a big cargo hub in the middle, and I couldn't get it to work, which is not a great surprise. And I'll tell you why it's not a great surprise in a minute. But there are a couple of things that I don't really fully comprehend, and there are some things that I have become to comprehend, if that's the right way to say it. So this here, for example, this oil system. So I have here, if I just let the trucks run. So I have here, for example, this is the Dartmouth oil loop train. Now you can see he's nearly full. So he's nearly full of crude oil. Now he's going to come in and drop it off at the refinery, and you can see that the refinery's got loads of oil, and he's going to pick up oil, and he never picks up the full amount. Never. There's clearly a lot of oil there, but he won't pick it up. He just won't. There's 2 trains running the Dartmouth oil loop. They won't pick it up. I tried experimenting with single trains, picking up oil and taking them to a different location. Wouldn't pick them up. I tried picking them up separately and bringing them to this location. Wouldn't pick it all up. I don't know what's going on. These trains will not pick all of this oil up, no matter what I try, changing the locos, changing the amount of tankers, changing the routes, anything. They will not pick up all of this oil, and they will not pick up all of this fuel. Now, if you check on the industry, you'll see that we're missing on shipment. They're producing but not shipping. I am trying to ship it as fast as I can. They won't ship it. I don't know. I don't know why they won't ship it. I haven't found an answer to that. Same issue over here. These guys shipping only 69%, 69 out of 100. Here it is. All of the produced versus all of the shipped. They're getting enough supply. They're producing it probably, but they never. It never. This platform never fills up. And the trains that come past here, if there's more stuff here than there is space on their train, they don't pick it up all. So I don't know what the story with that is, and if anyone does know, please tell me, because I dearly would love to know. So that's a bit of a problem. So my main focus was oil initially, so I balanced these out as much as I could, and that ate up like I spent 50 years trying to sort that out on the other game. I couldn't make it work. So that ate up an awful lot of my time. So I have a large train coming out here and collecting this, which is, I think, not that guy. I think it's the big guy. I think it's this one. This one. So this guy can pull 140 altogether. I don't think he actually needs to pull 140. I might be able to rebalance him. So how you rebalance him is, I sit here and wait and sort of say, well, how much have we got? How much is he producing? So his loaded is dropped. Look at that. I don't know why it's dropped. I'm loading more than I ever loaded, so I don't know what the story with that is. It's very weird. So yeah, so my point is, here he comes. So it looks like there's going to be close to not quite 100. So let's watch again and see how long it takes him to come back again. And when he comes back again, we'll know what the supply rate looks like. And then we can balance him out. So we're not spending anything more than we have to, because every time he's running up and down with an empty truck, that's just money that we're burning, because we're not getting any revenue on that, right? But it's an awful lot of cost for the train. So we'll just wait and see. I thought I had him balanced out earlier, but it doesn't hurt to come back and rebalance things. So we'll just wait and see. He'll not be long. So this is what I've been doing, really, and unfortunately, as you can see from the time, it does take a lot of time to sort this out, because you need to watch them. You need to just sit and watch and go, oh, I see. Oh, he's done this, and oh, he's done that, and oh, he's done the other. So here we go. So not quite 100. So we could adjust him and say, right, he is currently, let's go and have a look at him. He is currently hauling 140. But we would be comfortable with him hauling 100. That would be fine. I'd be okay with him hauling 100. And that will probably balance that out. So that sorts that out. Who is this? Dartmouth Oil Loop. Oh, he's carrying 19 out of 20. Well, that's a big shock. So he's nearly filled up. Where's the next Dartmouth Oil Loop? That one. He's dropping off. No, he's picked up 21 out of 40. So he's only picking up 21, but I can't balance them because the problem is with multi-drops. I want them to pick up as much of this as they can to transport it over there, because there's another train, which is this one, which is supplying the plastics over there. Now the thing is, this one in particular, for some reason, when he picks up from this platform, he's always full. Now, I could do with plastic, so I reckon we could go down to this guy and we could say, you know what? We could add you probably at least another 2 of those. Right? So we'll let him do that. because he will need to supply plastic. So that's what I was doing, and I added this one in. There's another oil supply here, which is currently in need of help. I think it's probably this guy. So he is fully loaded, carrying 100. Now, the biggest one that we have stopping was this guy, which was, what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was carrying 7. So this guy is carrying 100. We could arguably bump him up to 160, right? Well, let's try 140 and see, and see how this affects this, because it's 123 now, and it's going up slowly. So we might have to bump back down to like 100 or 120. No, well, he was at 100, so it's more than 100. So that's how I've been balancing these things out. So the steel production, I did the same with the steel production. So this is now, you can see, running pretty much as full tack. I've got 2 trains that are bypassing each other. I've got one down here and one up there, and you can see that he's full. So this is now more or less empty. So they're carrying 100 each, and they shuttle past each other, and they're fueling the steel, which has pretty much balanced this out, although that's saying the steel production is up. So let's have a look at what happens with the steel, because we've got 130. Steel's a bit of a, well, it's not really a supply issue, actually, it's plastics, but we could always move more steel. So I just need to, there's a whole load of priority stuff happening. Who gets priority right of way and so on is all a bit interesting. Anyway, he's gonna go, you're gonna go. This is a bit of an unusual one, but there you go. So we're up to 150 something. So we're already at 112. So it might be a little bit funky for when he comes back. There goes the plastics train. Yeah, because it's already fully loaded. So I'm not going to see that because we haven't gone down. So this guy, who is my steel, who I probably need more of, I probably won't go crazy with this one. Probably another 2 would be fine. So he's now supplying steel over to this place, which is great. And you can see product. So we've been supplying this for a long time. You can see we've stored nearly 3,000 steel. And we're working on plastic, and our production's up to 61. And this has now got 49 in it. And I've got, I think I've got just the one little truck. I've got 2 little trucks on this. I reckon, what have we got here, did I say? 49. So what is the next truck up for these guys? If I wanted to replace it, I think it's the 40-ton cider. Yeah, it's what we would call that a curtain cider. Tarpaulin truck, they're carrying 25. So it's a little bit more than double. So that's fine, let's do that, because they're now picking up goods here and taking them over to Shanklin. So I've had to set up a little cargo depot, and they're dropping off at this cargo depot, which isn't really, to be honest, supplying all the best stuff, is it? Let's have a look. Where's the, I use this to determine. There's some over there they're not getting, I don't think. This guy. We're getting a bunch of them. It's probably fine for now. So what does the town indicator say? 32 out of 72. So that's not bad. They don't like the stop. They don't like these stops. What is this? Is this my intercity? Yeah, I might need to adjust some of my intercity stuff, but that's not worried about that. It's peanuts. It's 20 or 30 grand here or there, although it does slow down the production a little bit. So we've got that steel working. The plastics train is coming from over here. He's still in process of being balanced. Obviously, I've just now increased this supply. We've got plenty. So I might end up running 2 plastics trains. That's all well and good. Um, we have done something a little bit. We haven't really done much up here, really, because this was all running okay. But we'll get into it. So what we've done here is we have added transport for timber that you can see here. So in the airport, we're now picking up timber goods. Um, I'm not really 100% sure how this works because I put the airport right next to this plant, which anyway. So my concern is that my timber train is bringing stuff in and it's automatically going into storage here, or use here. So I put this little cargo depot next to it, and it's being supplied by a couple of trucks. This truck, which is fully laden with timber, is going to come up and drop off here, and then it gets sort of deposited in here. But you can see I'm only getting 2 at a time, and I think the plant is soaking it all up because this guy's carrying 27. And my plane, which I'm never going to be able to get from there, I would have to go to, I think it's Keswick Dartmouth timber, Keswick Airport timber, Keswick. No, is it Dartmouth? Oh man, what did I call it? What did I call it? Dartmouth timber? No, Dartmouth. I've definitely got a plane doing it. Ashby tools. No, that's not it. What the heck did I call it? I called it Alchester. Oh, okay. Oh, I can't see this guy, sadly, from here. Aircraft 1. Aircraft 1. Let's see. I can probably do it from here. Oh, he's carrying nothing at the minute. He's carrying nothing at the minute, so he's just dropped off. So anyway, I'm not convinced that's working 100% exactly how I would like it to work. They are dropping off timber here, and I am getting some timber. And again, I've got a little truck that takes timber out here and drops it off. And you can see that we are manufacturing tools, and the steel train that comes from here, which is my new steelworks, which comes around and drops off, picks up tools and drops it off back here at Ashby de la Zouch, and comes back this way to save himself some time. I looped this in with this funky loop. I mean, to be honest, I probably would have just saved myself as much time just making it a straight line between here and here, but I didn't. Anyway, whatever. This is in progress. This is very much overlaid in here. What I've got here is an interesting one. This is a double train. So I probably need to double him up. And let's do that now. We've got 30 million. What's this guy cost to replace? 23 million. Oochie. Let's just duplicate him. There you go. He'll come in, which will be fine. So how you set that up is you set him up on his line, which is this one. And what I've said here is he's going to load 50%. So he's loading 50% here, and then he's going to trundle down to here and pick up 50%. So you can see his front half is loaded with ore and his back half is loaded with coal. And he's coming in here and he's supplying steel. And then what I can do is I can balance that steel out with this guy that's coming over here, so that sorts everything out there. So what we have is we have tools and fuel at Dartmouth. We have steel at Ashby, machines at Ashby de la Zouch, which we haven't got the goods yet. We have goods at Shanklin. We have tools at Keswick, and we have food and bricks at Alchester. Um, I'll look at the bricks in a minute. Um, so this guy is also getting tools through the plains. So Dartmouth and Alchester are the only ones getting fully supplied at the minute, and not vastly so, right? Not vastly so, and we need to do some tweaking and various bits and pieces. I think they are fairly static in terms of population, so they're not really growing. So if we want to grow these cities, we're going to have to start doing a little bit more. Um, in terms of volumes, really. So once we get our lines a little bit sorted, we might have to sort out volumes of stuff. Um, the bricks forewarns me of some issues with goods and also fuel. So this is the only rock supply on the map, right? And it goes very slowly. This is the stone, and he will load up everything. So he is balanced out, right? There's never more than about 20 or 30 there. He can carry 40. So he's running backwards and forwards, carrying the full capacity of what can be produced. So the bricks that can be produced are 1-to-1, but they happen very slowly. So there's one brick train. That's not him. I don't know where he is. He's probably well ahead of me. Oh, that's him. There's one brick train, and he's never running full either. So no matter what we can do, we cannot make more than 40 bricks on this map. So this place, this 38 out of 89 represents 100% supply on the map. I can't make that go any faster. It just isn't going to happen. So, the same with fuel. It doesn't seem to matter how much stuff I try and get in. This is producing at 100%. I can't make it make any more. So I will then have to split the fuel between Dartmouth and Keswick if I want to get Keswick supplied also with fuel. And the same with goods from Ashby de la Zouch. I don't know how much this can produce at the minute. We're producing at 80%. We need our plastic to kind of step up a little bit. But these are going to be limiting factors. You cannot just keep going on and on forever, pumping it up, increasing and increasing, because there are natural limits that I have found out about. So that's what I've been doing. I've been balancing all this and fiddling around with this and everything else. And I meant to say, I found out. Remember I was saying about planes? And I was saying, I don't know where I got that from. If you go to your plane and you go to replace selected vehicle, you get a choice. So these are all of the planes. These are all passenger planes, which is, great. Probably not very much use to me, to be honest. Whether we want to do passenger routes or not, I'm not sure. Not sure if it makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. These are our cargo planes, starting with the Hercules. So these all require they're all big planes, they're all large planes. These all require a large airport. The Hercules, I think, is the cheapest, 7 million. 7,000,008 for the Bombardier. 648. I think it flies faster. Yeah, so the Bombardier flies a bit better, which is fine. And carries 22 cargo, as opposed to the short, which carries 12 in 2 compartments. So that's fine, but I would need somewhere to build a big airport, because I was thinking what you could do with a big airport is you could pick up yeah, it wouldn't work, would it? Pick up oil, transport it over, you'd have a big airport, and then it it's sort of the problem with the big airports is you have to cart everything over to them somehow, and then one plane, 7 million, carrying 20 something, whereas 2 rail cars are 4 million and carry twice as much. So it might be good for very long distance maps. I don't think planes work out very well on this map. I've got the little planes running, but to be honest, it's not enough, and I'm thinking about how I can either get more timber from here directly down, seeing as we've already partially got a line here anyway, where we should be able to pick up. So we've got a log supply, and it wouldn't be too hard to run a train line round the back of the mountain and past the airport, and supply this anyway directly, and then save myself the cost of an airport. And I could probably do the same with tools. I could probably have a tools train supplying tools to this, and this would be like my cargo exchange. And then he would drop off logs and timber and pick up timber and tools and bring them down here. Or something. That might be a thought. So there's plenty to play with, and there's plenty to think about. We're approaching some balancing on some things, and we need to refine some things. I did promise I'd do the cargo hub, but to be honest, I have tried it, and on a map of this size and scale, it hasn't really got as much sense as you might think. For instance, all of my oil essentially is down here, so this is like an oil hub anyway, except for one offshoot for plastic, and it doesn't make much sense to try and run a hub here for just plastic. So the hub idea doesn't really work, and didn't really float it. But I've got some stuff going on, and everything else looks fine. So Dartmouth, room to grow. Ashby de la Zouch, room to grow. Shanklin is growing. Keswick, I need to work on. Alchester, a bit of room to grow. I need to refine my cross-country routes because people are getting a little miffed that they are hanging around for so long. I've replaced most of my buses with electric buses, so the emissions from the buses should be fine. I had to go back to using diesel trains. So this, blimey, this is an old diesel train. What the heck? What is the story with that guy? Surely I need to replace that guy. Yeah, blimey, I've been using these things, um, which are a diesel train, simply because they're a little bit cheaper. But once I've got my lines balanced, my economy working a little bit more, I can probably start go through and replacing them with electric, drop my emissions, and try and get these cities to grow. Because obviously the other thing is that I want these to grow. We haven't really got any big cities yet, with big skyscrapers. The ones that are growing the best, Alchester, for example, is still just like a big town. I think Dartmouth has a few skyscrapers in it, which is fine. It's a bit 1980s, a bit 1990s. Hasn't really gotten any bigger. And I think Keswick's looking a bit better. But I'd like to see if I can get them to grow, which should be fun. So I probably need to concentrate a little bit on my towns, get these lines finally balanced, and then what was that? And then concentrate on my towns a little bit. And this tools situation, I don't think the plane's going to cut it. I need to go back to using trains. And there's a few little bits and pieces. Anyway, gosh, haven't I waffled on again? Another nearly 27 minutes of waffle. There's just one other thing I wanted to show you because I learnt this in my dramas, and it's something that I think I need to show you because it really is a problem. So when you are doing your line, and you are doing, say, out of the train station, and you want to do the crossover points. So I've said go out about 60, which is fine. Let's call that 59. So you go out in a straight line about 59, both sides from your train station, and then you want to do this thing, right? And you come down at least, say, 40. And then when you come over here where the point is, and you try and get it across. Um, it doesn't always work, right? Of course it works right now, perfectly fine. Yes, of course it works perfectly fine. What about if I try it from this side? It's gonna work perfectly fine? Of course you are. Anyway, my point is, if it doesn't work perfectly fine, and you find yourself having issues with this, instead of coming straight across, and I know this will probably mess with some people's OCD, but instead of coming straight across, come one little notch back. There. And if you come one notch back and you do it, I guarantee you it will always work. So I have been doing that in places like here, for example. So you'll see that my points don't quite match up 100%. The crisscross doesn't look any different, right? But what I had to do was I just dropped one back and it lines up perfectly. So if you are ever having any trouble with this, and this is something that I have learned as a little tip to you, which is if you're having trouble with these kinds of points outside of your stations, all you need to do is misalign them by just a tad. Not a lot. It doesn't change the overall look of the junction. The overall look of the junction stays exactly the same. You still get this X pattern. It still works perfectly fine. It is not a drama, but you just don't have these two boxes perfectly 100% aligned. Which if you can manage that, if that's not going to keep you awake at night, then there you go. That is, it took me honestly the pain in trying to do some of these things using the leveling tool and trying to do this and trying to do that, and then I hit on that method of misaligning the points, and it works 100% of the time. And trust me, I have done a lot of those points, so I know what I'm talking about. So anyway, there you go. This has been another mission. It is 2052, which is what it is. There's still a bit of work to do. There's still a bit of balancing to do, but I feel like we're finally heading into the home stretch on this map. We have almost supplied every town with everything they need in at least some form or other. We just need to see if we can maximize that, to see if we can maximize the growth of the towns. And then we should be done. We'll have done everything we can do, and then we can take those lessons and probably move on to another map. So I can really say that I'm beginning to see the end. Now the end of the tunnel is in sight. It is a long way off, but it is still in sight. I hope you're staying tuned, and I hope you are learning something from all of this experience. I'm certainly learning a whole heck of a lot. If you are, please feel free to click that like button. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Please feel free to answer my wayward questions about oil, because this is the one thing that is bothering me quite a bit. What on earth is going on with oil? I just simply don't understand. Everything else is working fine except for this one oil station, which is disobeying me, which is infuriating. Anyway, I will see you all again real soon. Ta-ta for now.
PlayStation